Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior and welcome to another Mortal Kombat video. Now, with the story trailer coming out yesterday, I wanted to properly give myself an entire day to actually analyze it and inform you all on any missed details within the trailer, because there is quite a lot of stuff going on in here. Now, this is a breakdown and analysis video, so nothing I do say here is solid in stone. I'm just analyzing what we have and applying the ideas of what I currently know to what we see here. So please do not take it as gospel, and if you don't really want to be spoiled about the story, I would recommend that you probably don't watch this video, as there may be spoilers ahead. So in saying that, let's just jump right into it. Now, the trailer starts right in the middle of the action at the very beginning. We see a Netherrealm fortress being rebuilt after it has been destroyed. Now, presumably, if we are going to link this back with the other trailers, this must have happened very early on in the game, during the Special Forces invasion of the Netherrealm, where I presume they destroyed a fortress. Now, whilst this is going on, we get a really good look at the Revenant Liu Kang and Kitana, with Kitana sporting some new gothic headwear. And then we finally have the introduction of Kronika, and it's very clear throughout the rest of the entire trailer that she's recruiting people to work alongside her, with Liu Kang and Kitana seemingly being the first. So as a gesture of goodwill, she's rebuilding the fortress back to its previous form in order to gain the favour of a Revenant Liu Kang and Kitana, as the two do feature quite heavily with her in this trailer. From here we actually see Kronika make her presence known, and then we get a somewhat action shot with Cassie running up to the edge of a cliff, with fun fact, Jackie just to the left of her. Now, I'm going to presume that this is before the castle was crumbled, as it looks like the special forces are yet to set off the detonators, but we saw them put under the fortress in the community launch trailer. And the next really important shot we have here is where we see Liu Kang, Kitana and Kronika next to a massive hourglass. Now, the hourglass is what I'm going to presume is the Doomsday device, and I'm not sure if you've actually recognized it yet, but this entire set piece, including the hourglass itself, was actually featured at the end of the original launch trailer. Now, we do have a very interesting line from Kronika here.
I guide the destiny of the realms.
As a deity that has been watching over the original timeline and the new timeline. So this obviously does set up her motivation for wanting to destroy Raiden, which is why we actually cut back to him here, then immediately go back to Kronika, Liu Kang and Kitana. Now, after this, we presumably go back in time to what I'm guessing is the second Mortal Kombat tournament, as we are in Shao Kahn's Colosseum, and we are then introduced to a long-haired Scarlet, Erron Black, Baraka, and finally none other than Shao Kahn. And then after this, we also get an introduction for Liu Kang, Jade, Kung Lao and Raiden. And when we zoom out, we actually see the two factions on opposing sides, with Shao Kahn being absent from his throne here, which is very uncharacteristic of the Emperor. So there definitely has to be more going on in this scene than just what we see here. Now, as expected, Kronika would lead her hand out to Shao Kahn and would request his assistance in building a new empire. Now, when she says this, I don't believe that it's crazy to say, but she may be building up an army that can not only defeat Raiden, but may even be something that could usurp the Elder Gods. Now, like I said, remember, don't take this as gospel, this is just an idea. Now, while she is talking to Shao Kahn, we get a very nice glimpse of the characters that will be working with her. From left to right, we have Devora, Shao Kahn, a new character, which everyone is calling the Collector, Baraka, Scarlet, Erron Black, a hooded figure who I'll talk about in a second when we get to a better angle, and Geras. Again, we cut away back to the Netherrealm invasion, and then we get another proper look at the Collector. Now, the Collector is a very interesting looking individual. It's very clear that he's something completely new to the universe in terms of race. On top of this, he has what I can presume is 4 arms. Unlike the Shogun, where another pair of arms is under the armpit, the Collector's extra arms seem to come out of his shoulders, giving him a very unnatural look to what we've seen before. And to further somewhat cement that this guy is definitely going to be a villain, is the stereotypical red eye. Now, Shao Kahn agrees to work with Kronika, and we get a nice shot of Kano in the background and the hooded individual right next to Kronika, which is none other than Frost. Now, I've seen many people saying that this is a cyberized version of her, and I'm not gonna lie, that would be really damn cool, but there's not too much to work off here properly. We can only see the mask and her lower forearm and hand. What I think is the most interesting part here is the fact that she's actually covered herself up, so she may be wanting to hide her identity. And what's also a very nice attention to detail is that the hood she's wearing shares a similar color palette and pattern with Kronika's attire. So this may be a Frost that aligned herself with Kronika a very long time ago. But considering that Kronika, Frost and Geras are all sporting a similar color palette, it would not at all be crazy to think that this is a possibility here. Now, next we have a very brief shot of Jade running out of a Tarkatan camp, and seeing as how she's alone, I'm gonna presume this is after she gets kidnapped by those giant crabs we see later, or whatever those weird monsters in the desert are. We then get our first look at Kotal Kahn, and he's rocking a really nice redesign of his MKX costume, with a very very royal looking helmet. Now what I find interesting about his design here is the entire time we've known him, he's actually been covered in war paint, which is actually rather interesting. I'm guessing it's been done to pay homage to his Mayan influence. Now here we see him confronting a human Liu Kang and Raiden within Shao Kahn's Colosseum, and in the background it looks like many people have died. So I'm going to presume from this shot to this shot a massive fight must have broken out, and Kotal Kahn must have turned up hearing that Shao Kahn was alive, as this Raiden asks for Kotal's assistance in taking down Shao Kahn, of which he would obviously accept. Now what I do find quite interesting here are the 3 individuals in monk attires hanging from the ceiling. Now whilst they are hanging here, it looks like they're literally having their souls torn out of them, and I presume this is one of 2 things. Shang Tsung has returned and is draining as many souls as possible to become stronger, or this is in fact another soul nader. Now I'm just going to cut out a few extra bits that we've already talked about, and now we have current timeline Johnny Cage meeting his younger self, and we get this hilarious exchange of dialogue between the two. Now judging from Johnny's reaction here, he's completely confused with all this timeline mumbo jumbo. So I am going to say once Kronika started pulling allies from one timeline into her own, she probably inadvertently opened a rift where the past is able to spill out into the future. In fact, all the 2 timelines are literally merging into one, hence why you can have 2 versions of the same character going against each other. Now we get some more shots of the special forces in the Netherrealm, and then we see a young Johnny Cage and old Johnny Cage be caught in an explosion. Now it's here where we have our first proper look at Aaron Black, and it looks like now he actually has his own gang, as the 2 individuals behind him are sporting similar headwear attire. So again, much like they did with Kotal, it really does seem like they're trying to flesh out Aaron Black's cowboy gimmick. Now we cut away to a scene I mentioned earlier, where Kotal and Jade are seemingly having a moment, and Jade herself is dragged away by giant crab monsters. There's actually a very brief shot here of what I presume is one of Kotal's bodyguards. No one that will play an integral role to the main story, but I thought it'd just be an interesting thing to point out. And presumably with Kotal swinging his giant weapon, but may actually be a reference to the return of his war god variation. We then see a human Liu Kang and Kung Lao being attacked by a revenant scorpion, but before anything can happen, we cut back to the special forces base that is still under attack. Now whilst this assault's going on, we have a very brief shot of what I presume is a young Sonya Blade and an injured young Johnny Cage. And of course, how can I miss it? A young Kano attempting to gun down Cassie. We then get a very intimidating shot of what I presume is Shao Kahn's army marching forward, and then we cut away to Raiden, who's preaching to the Elder Gods for their assistance. As the realms are understandably in disarray, 2 different timelines clashing. Now it's here where we learn from one of the Elder Gods that what Kronika is trying to do with the massive hourglass is create a temporary Armageddon. Now this is obviously very bad in the grand scheme of things, but it's here where we actually learn from the Elder Gods that they actually have to find a key in order to stop her. Now although it's not shown in this trailer, I personally believe that we've actually all already seen it. You see, there's a very important item that we see Kronika carrying around, and we see at one point in Liu Kang's hand in a previous trailer. I believe that the items that are in fact on that belt is the key to stopping her doomsday device, because although it might seem like a minor thing, we've seen it in the hands of 2 different characters, one that is Kronika herself, the main villain, and one that is a Liu Kang that would understandably be against her. Now remember, this is a theory, but it seems like that item has quite a bit of importance behind it, so please keep that in mind. Now whilst Raiden is being informed how to stop Kronika, we get a few action shots here of a revenant scorpion appearing in the Netherrealm, young Sonya battling young Kano, Cassie presumably fighting against Black Dragon lackeys, and Raiden attacking Shao Kahn at his Colosseum, which I'm going to presume happens just before Kotal arrives. We then get a very beautiful shot of Raiden and Cassie at what I presume is a temple. Now I don't know where this could be, but of the colors and temples I'm seeing here, I'm gonna presume it's either the Wuxi Academy or maybe the White Lotus Society. Now where this takes place is somewhere I don't know, but obviously this isn't Dark Raiden, so I'm guessing this is the Raiden we saw from an older timeline earlier. Now this is followed by Liu Kang and Kung Lao presumably walking through a very oriental place, judging by the design of that gate, and then we have a really interesting shot, and many people are in fact saying that this individual here is Shang Tsung, and I must say it is a very good guess, and I think it's definitely viable. Now again, we get more action shots of Kano attacking a tank, a young Sonya battling Aaron Black in Kano's bar, more shots of the Netherrealm and how the special forces were assembling their army, and to cap it all off, we get a very cool shot of Hanzo Hasashi battling the Revenant Scorpion, which is something we've only ever seen in the MKX comic book series, so I'm very excited to see Hanzo battle the sins of his past. It's one of the massive benefits with a time travel-esque story. Now again, we get more shots of the Netherrealm battle, with Raiden slicing down many demons, and Jackie showing off the new guns on her suit. Now we then get a headshot of Kronika, and it's here where we learn she's gathering power to start Armageddon. Armageddon. So it's one of those cases where the heroes have time to stop her before she begins Armageddon. And we have a shot here of her presumably powering up her doomsday device with Liu Kang standing guard. And then we get these final lines from her.
As my strength gathers, the new era draws ever closer.
So what she's saying here in terms of new era is the new world she plans on starting after she's killed this timeline. Now, to finally cap off the trailer, we get to see the Netherrealm fortress be destroyed, as I'd mentioned at the beginning, a Jackie Briggs fatality, Aaron Black's fatal blow, also he's not wearing his mask in this one, and then we finally finish off with Cassie's fatal blow. And that is literally every single hidden detail I was able to find in this trailer. As I mentioned yesterday, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and although I was rather cautious with a whole timeline story, I'm extremely interested in how this story is going to pan out. But yes, that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and learned more by doing so. As I'd mentioned, I really wanted to take my time with this one. There's a lot of really intricate details that I think a lot of people would have missed if they've only watched it once or twice. So hopefully by watching this video, you're able to catch up on some of the details you may have missed, plus that and some of the theories I've been putting out in this video that link it to the previous trailers. Because it's all the same game, it's all the same story, and I'm trying to intertwine all of these ideas to give you a rough idea of what you can expect of Mortal Kombat 11's story. But yeah guys, that kind of wraps it up for now. Now down in the comments below, if I have missed out anything in this trailer, please let me know down there, as it'll be a great way of informing me and everyone else if I've missed out anything important. But yes, that is actually going to be it for this video, guys. Now just before I head off, just want to give you a quick heads up that yesterday I did put out a Cassie Cage video, and earlier today I uploaded some exclusive Kano gameplay on the channel. So if you are interested in the mercenary, please do check that out. Tomorrow will be some exclusive Scorpion gameplay, which will then be followed by a tour of NRS and me interviewing one of the developers about the story for Mortal Kombat 11. So if you want to learn more details about what exactly is going on with the story, please do tune in then. Anyway guys, before this video wraps up, if possible, let's try getting it to about 500 likes. It's a great way of supporting this channel since YouTube's ad system is broken as hell. So by giving it a thumbs up, it helps out a ton. And also don't forget to tick that bell, as YouTube does have a lot of problems with my videos not appearing in your sub boxes. So by doing that, it's going to help me out and most certainly help you out. Anyway, as always, please comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I'll see you all next